Mario Kart.
Haha, you won't catch me now, Bryce.
Don't be so sure, I've got one item box left. Yes! Take this blue shell!
Oh, crap. If only I had a power star. You're not beating me today, Bryce.
God damn it. Good game. Rematch?
Yeah, let's do it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 49, and we are the Nintendo podcast, a part of the 8-Bit Collective. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my wonderful go-karting friend, Bryce DeWitt.
Go-karting. Yes. Leads into today's subject pretty well.
It does. Now, Bryce, I hope you're wearing underwear under that skirt of yours, because we're going to have a heated discussion.
Skirt, alright.
ranking the Mario Kart series.
Alright.
You are wearing underwear under that skirt, right?
Yep.
You are today?
I promise.
Yeah, so am I.
I duly promise.
I put underwear on too for this. So we are going to rank the Mario Kart series. Like many Nintendo fans, the Mario Kart series is very special, near and dear to our hearts. We have particular ones we are very fond of, mainly the ones that come out when we were children.
Children, yeah, yes.
But I feel like the series has continued getting better and better as it's gone on.
Yeah, that's questionable.
Okay.
That's questionable.
Yeah, so we'll get into that, I dare say.
Yeah.
So, just in case you have forgotten what Mario Kart games there are, you having a look? You having a look, Bryce?
I am just having a look.
So, we've got Super Mario Kart, which came out in 1991. We've got Mario Kart 64, that came out 1996. Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance, 2001. Mario Kart Double Dash 2003, Mario Kart DS 2005, Mario Kart Wii 2008, Mario Kart 7 2011, and Mario Kart 8, which is 2014/2017, because we'll bundle the deluxe version in with that.
Yep, yeah, which is fair.
Yes.
I mean, you know, it is essentially the same game, so yeah.
It is very much the same game. So let's start the ranking. We'll start from bottom and we'll go to top.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
So, which is the worst Mario Kart? It sounds negative, but which is the worst one? Where are we starting? What's starting our little crap pyramid?
I think a crap pyramid, like we're molding this out of shit. Anyway, I think it's pretty safe to say for the both of us, this is Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, I agree. Mario Kart Wii is at the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like it's what ruined this game for me was just the item balancing.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. It was just
awful.
atrocious. And what really upset me about this is I was so hyped for Mario Kart Wii.
Well, yeah, because it come off the heels of DS, which was a fantastic game.
Yeah,
like it was easily one of the best Mario Karts in my opinion. But anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, so I was really excited for it. I actually loved the idea that it had the steering wheel peripheral,
the
Wii wheel, and I think that was a great way of getting people into the game. I didn't have any problems with the motion controls. It was just the items. That's what ruined it for me in the end. Oh
yeah, for sure. That, and it's just like it just feels like a subpar Mario Kart in comparison to the other ones. Like a lot of people would argue that, like, because of the GameCube's sort of obscurity, Double Dash was not really revered on or anything like that, or something like that. But it's honestly probably Jesus. Like I every time I think back to Mario Kart Wii, it's just like I had fun with it for a little bit, and then it got jarring when you went into online, and like online was such a cool experience for Mario Kart. And I feel
like online for this game was its main strength.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely.
This was like the first push to have like a real robust online infrastructure for Mario Kart.
Yeah,
for
Nintendo.
Sure. Do you remember the Mario Kart channel on the Wii?
I do. Hardly remember what it was for.
Oh, basically just like spectate games, check stats, like pretty much what the online app is now.
Right.
Which is actually pretty cool. it was really cool back in the day, just having a separate app where you can check all this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The competitive point system was also the thing back then as well. Like you were ranked based on how many races you won, but they came in the form of points, like they do in the regular races, and that was a good way to sort of individualize people, I suppose. And it's like on such a grand scale that like a point of difference could it could mean a lot.
Yeah.
You would get up to a certain level where it was just like, I'm like 4,091 points, but I really want to get to 4,100, but it could just be a massive gateway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it either pushed you to continue playing and doing the best you could, or it just utterly destroyed you because everybody, you get in races with people above that rank and you get trashed.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a cool step in that regards, but the game itself was not very entertaining in aspect of just regular play. It was a standard Mario Kart, but with shit item balance, to be quite frank.
It was really poor.
It was.
I feel like they didn't really change it. This was the first Mario Kart that brought in 12 players, but I feel like they didn't actually change it for that.
No.
They widened the courses and they put new items, like the Mega Mushroom and stuff like that, which made them huge and take up most of the the track.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as well, is it's just like thinking of it from the point of they were working with 8 before. So basically what they've done is they've gone, hey, we'll leave 8 place at where it was in terms of item rarity and stuff like that from boxes, and then we'll add 4 more ranks, but we'll make them have even increasingly better chances. And sometimes it was just horse shit. It really was. It was like, hey, look, I got an item backed up in my slot. I've got a bullet bill. It's a really tight race. Bullet bill pushes through. Then they have a star immediately after that. They push that button. You go flying ahead. It was horse.
Well, as Dash pointed out a couple of episodes ago, that GIF was getting around with Daisy just getting destroyed and falling into last place.
Yeah, yeah.
That actually come up on my news feed for whatever reason, coincidence. Yeah. I'm like, yes, that is Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, that is Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
That clip has been around for a long time, but like it is literally that. It's just smash, you're off the ledge, smash, like you get back on the ledge, you drive a little bit further along, smash, you're off the ledge again, and then a Donkey Kong rams you or something, smash, you're off the ledge again. Like it's like I'm not adverse to like the weighty characters pushing people around. That's fine, but when you like throw items into the mix of those characters also ramming you off a bridge, like that was kind of, it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Another factor which disappointed me with Mario Kart Wii was also the battle mode. This was the first battle mode where they introduced the time aspect because of online. Online, obviously, you can't have battles going on for ever. People can just literally sit there and idle and not do anything. Like I get that makes sense, but it, especially Mario Kart Wii, where I think were you locked to teams? I believe you were locked to teams.
I think so, yeah.
So it was teams. And it's basically just trying to hit people and get points.
Yeah,
like there was that was one of the best things about Mario Kart 64, where you have like these standoffs, like you're playing 4-player and you have a standoff at the end. That was one of the most thrilling things about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it actually kind of reminds me of what like PUBG and Fortnite are doing now. How you get to like the final 2 or 3, then like, you get that adrenaline hit. With the time, you're just not getting that.
No, absolutely not. No, it kind of just dampens the whole dampens the whole thing. Granted, when you're thinking about those battle royale games, they have a system in place as well where it's like you've got a circle, you've got to follow the circle, otherwise you die. But it adds to the adrenaline rush because you know that hiding's not an option. You have to get out there and do your thing. You have to take out the other player, otherwise one of you's going to win, one of you's going to lose, and it's going to be based on whoever's got more healing items on them or something.
Yeah.
So you've got to be more of a judge.
Yeah.
Because kits change, but with Mario Kart Battle Multiplayer, it's like you let the timer run, I guess, then it's a draw immediately. There is no definite 100% outcome to a battle mode in Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
If somebody just runs away, they can just run away and make it a draw. And it dampens it again. It's not really fun.
No. No, so Mario Kart Wii was a bit of a down for me, but in the end, I did enjoy it. Like while it was fresh, I did like the motion controls. I handed it to my mum a few times. She played it. I thought that was a great way, and it really shows in the sales because it was about 35 million sold. It's a juggernaut. It's one of the Wii's biggest selling games. It's by far the most selling Mario Kart.
Well, like when we discuss Mario Kart, you have to think of it from the perspective of like Mario Kart is the biggest party game in the world. Honestly, It always has been. Like ever since Super Mario Kart on the SNES, it's been a gather around the TV. You play battle mode, you play races or something like that. It's massive. It's huge, and like it's one of Mario's biggest spin-off titles too.
By far.
By far.
It's pretty much bigger than his main series.
Yeah, because it's a party game.
Yeah.
You know, it's the type of thing, it's like you pick up a Switch and then you're like, hey, what do I want to play? It's just like, I want to play this Switch with friends, like when they come around and stuff like that. So what's your option? You've got Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart. Now, not the shit on Odyssey, but Mario Kart is a party option.
Yeah, it's like
Odyssey is not.
Yeah, endless play it with people.
Yeah.
Especially if you're talking about the Switch, obviously that's very multiplayer centric as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's you got to think of it from the perspective of like sales are great, and like looking at the figures and being like, oh, that sold really well. Mario Kart Wii definitely did that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, like from a perspective of somebody who invests their time in single player Mario Kart and online multiplayer, it's not fantastic.
Yeah. Oh well, that's at the bottom of the list. But just before we move on, we do have some. I have asked on Twitter for people's favourite Mario Karts and their favourite memories associated with those games.
Mm-hmm.
So first up, we've got Jamie Penning. Thank you very much for writing in, Jamie.
Jamie boy.
Yes.
Hello.
What's he said? So playing multiplayer Mario Kart 64 was definitely a highlight, but most memories come from playing Mario Kart Wii. Spent many hours playing that game.
Yeah. And like I did too.
Yeah, likewise, yeah.
I did too, but it just, the reason it falls short is like, from a critical analysis, it's like the era it came out in and the quality of the game, and unfortunately, like the quality was not up to the standard of the rest of them.
I just remember waiting for months and months for Mario Kart, and eventually, here we are today. These are my opinions on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Where Smash Brothers Brawl, I remember that coming. Oh, Smash Bros is out.
Mm-hmm.
I like Smash Bros on the 64.
Yeah.
Look where we are. That game is like my favourite game ever.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And like that's also one of the most universally panned Smash Bros, if not is.
Yeah.
So,
it is.
That says something, but like at the same time, I think that Brawl was like it did things differently, and that's what made it unique.
Mm.
When you stick to nostalgia, people are going to stick with Melee if they played Melee first. I'm somebody that liked to see that series evolve and see what new characters would come in, because that actually make a pretty large chunk of difference.
Yeah.
In Mario Kart, that wasn't really a thing, because characters didn't really have their own special traits apart from later on they got like different stuff that they can use or whatever. But yeah, in Smash Bros, there's a completely different aspect, I think, and yeah, it's hard to be like Smash Bros. Brawl was shit for me.
Yeah. Anyway, actually, Mario Kart not Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart Wii was actually the first game where they introduced that new sliding power turbo mechanic as well.
Mm-hmm.
To get rid of the sort of snaking from the DS version.
Yeah.
And the tricks and all that. I really enjoy the tricks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite a fan of just shaking the remote or the steering wheel when you go over a jump. I think that was really jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But how they've implemented it now, I feel like it's really good.
Yeah,
pressing
for sure.
the hot button.
For sure.
So yeah. Mario Kart Wii, it brought a lot of things. It's brought in that point system for online. It's brought the tricks, the turbo boosting. I think it's all good foundation. Just the item balancing really ruined it for me.
Yep, 100%. I agree.
All right. So what do you think's next, Bryce? I've got what I think's next. I think Mario Kart 7 is next.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that. Mario Kart 7 was so jarring.
Yeah.
Like, it really... It did so much for the 3DS. Mm-hmm. It really did. But I really didn't play it that much because I didn't find it entertaining.
Mario Kart 7, it's a really weird one. This is once again really looking forward to Mario Kart 7. The 3DS came out in March, and Mario Kart 7, along with Mario 3D Land, came out at the end of the year. And we're waiting for those two games to really bolster the 3DS, because throughout that year, apart from Ocarina of Time remake and maybe some other little things, Pilot Wings Resort, there really wasn't much to play on it. And playing Mario Kart 7, it's fantastic. The item. I was worried because we're coming off the Wii version,
and the Wii version was unbalanced.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god, like I saw the tricks through in there. I'm like, I don't want. How are you gonna do that? Shake your 3DS? Like, no, you just have to press the hop button.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yeah,
but the item balancing was great. The battle mode was somewhat fixed. It was still on time, but it wasn't quite as bad.
No, yeah,
it was fine. I remember playing it and having fun at least. But it seemed like it was really, really rushed to get out in time for the holidays for 3DS.
Because
the 3DS was hurting and Nintendo needed this game out.
Yeah.
And what really stood out to me, there was not a quick play race option in the game.
No, yeah.
I was absolutely flabbergasted, to be honest. I'm like, how is there not a quick play in this?
Well, because they rushed it.
Exactly. So
it's 100% because they rushed it. Just it could be a combination of that, or it could be, just all these new mechanics that I didn't really find too interesting. But I think in the end, it wasn't really fun. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like the magic of Mario Kart kind of got lost there for me for a little bit, because Wii obviously wasn't fantastic. I spent a shit ton of time playing it, yes, but its glaring flaws really showed the more I played it. And then 7, because it was rushed, and obviously it was better than Mario Kart Wii. It was.
I still played a lot of Mario Kart 7. It's like one of my most played 3DS games.
Yeah.
If I were to check it now, it would be like at least 50 something. I know that's not much, maybe for some people, but
I'd say that's probably in the mid range for me. I don't think that like looking back, I just don't think I played it that much at all. Maybe about anywhere from 20 to 30, maybe anywhere up to 50 hours, just to be safe.
Yeah,
that's probably the most I got out of it. It just,
I think it's one of its biggest problems as well, is you're maybe not comparing it so much to Mario Kart Wii, but you're comparing it to Mario Kart DS.
Yeah,
I was at least. I'm like, all right, this. No, it doesn't have the missions. It doesn't have quick play. It doesn't have as good a battle mode, because the battle mode is pretty much N64's still.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff missing from the previous handheld iteration. So yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment for me as well, Mario Kart 7.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fallen in the same pit as Mario Kart Wii. Unfortunately, it was a really weird time, because the Wii was doing really well, but it was also coming towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And then it's just
2011. So that's like the same year as Skyward Sword?
I think so.
Must have been.
It was one of the only reasons to buy a 3DS. Like, we bought ours on launch and we got all the ambassador stuff, and that was great. That was fantastic. I'm not going to complain about the ambassador stuff. Worth the extra 100?
We are ambassadors.
No, we are ambassadors. Worth the extra 100? I don't think so. But
no.
What still confuses me today is how we managed to get all those GBA ports, but for some reason a regular 3DS can't get a SNES port, but that's to discuss for another time.
Yeah, okay, yeah. A bit odd.
It's just it fell in that awkward time of a new console transition. I know it wasn't a handheld transition or anything, but the 3DS was struggling. Sucks, but yeah. And then getting a hold of this Mario Kart. I remember I got it in Adelaide on the way home.
Yep.
Oh wait, was it in Adelaide on the way home? I can't even remember.
Some city, somewhere.
I
got it somewhere.
I got it somewhere, but I remember I chucked it in. I played a little bit of it, but I reckon I played it less than Wii. I reckon, so that's kind of depressing. It just shows that I sort of put it down. I was just like, it doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it's that same old magic I'm used to, and then I moved on.
Yeah, like I feel like it's a good game. It's just missing stuff.
It is.
It was rushed.
Oh, it absolutely is
that's
missing
about
stuff.
it. But the 3DS needed it, so Nintendo could not have delayed that game. They needed Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
They needed it 100%. All right, Bryce. What is next?
What is next? So what do we have left? What we have left is 64 Super Circuit Double Dash.
I think I reckon Mario Kart Super Circuit next on the list. What do you think?
Yeah, mainly because it was a really obscure Mario Kart, in my opinion. Like, you would think for a Mario Kart game that'd be like, every kid would have that kind of thing, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They absolutely didn't. It came out, how many years after 64? I don't even, hang on. You do have it written down here, don't you? 1996, so...
Yeah.
5 years. 5 years after Mario Kart 64.
There's big gaps between Mario Karts. You don't actually notice until you're actually looking at the dates.
Yeah.
It feels like, there's 8 Mario Karts. There's a lot of Mario Kart. But
yeah.
that's over a long time.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to shit on Mario Kart Super Circuit. It was really cool. It had the whole download play thing going, and like that was one of their first iterations of that working well.
It is a hard Mario Kart to pick up again, mainly because of the drifting mechanics in it.
Yeah.
Like, they're going for the Mario Kart 64, like, drifting.
Mm-hmm.
But like sort of the Super Circuit SNES style.
Yeah.
And it is like, you've got to get used to it again. Like, it's...
And on a small screen, even more, it's like, sometimes it was just way too hard to pick out stuff, like edges of corners and...
No, but I absolutely love this game. Like,
it was great. I'm not saying it was...
And being able to play with only one cartridge, which was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
That was, like I said in the previous episode, just having that... your Game Boy with nothing in it and playing a game. It's like, what the hell's going on? How are they doing this?
Yeah, reminiscent, like, again, of what I said before. It's reminiscent of what we got later on in download play, which is a feature I miss.
Yeah.
It's a feature I miss in Nintendo consoles. I thought it was a really cool way for... I understand why it'd probably shirk Nintendo a bit of money, I guess. But it's one of those things, it was just kind of like, let me try the game. Let me, I'll buy it later on. Metroid Prime Hunters is a really good example of that. I
know.
It's just, looking back on it, while I did have fun doing that type of thing, like between Game Boy Advances, I obviously didn't own it myself, but I played it with other people. I played it on emulation.
You monster.
I know, I'm a bloody monster. But like, it was I was a kid. It wasn't exactly easy to just come along, bunny, and buy these type of things back in those days. It falls into the pool of like, at the time it was like succeeding Mario Kart 64, which is a massively popular party around the couch game. This is the first instance of like, everybody needs to have a console for it to work in multiplayer. Single player was fine for the most part, but again, it's not like you can just throw a controller to somebody and be like, here you go, let's play 2-player.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a disconnect there for it being like a massive party game franchise where people gather around the couch and you throw them a controller. It is a disconnect.
It's like where the DS version sort of picked it up, and it did have the download play. Well, without the wire, I think without the link cable really helped it.
Yep.
Like, it was mainly the link, because not everyone had a link cable. Not everyone had
like
an extra Game Boy. So yeah, Mario Kart is definitely a series that does suit the TV better, but
I don't think it can't work in handheld. It's just
it definitely can, as we'll talk when we get to Mario Kart DS.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely love that Mario Kart. But yeah, there are better ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We'll jump to Sam Hay. He has left us a comment on Twitter, and he says, some of my best memories come from Mario Kart 64, playing battle mode with my brother and friends in primary school. But the game which I would say is my favourite, would have to say, is Mario Kart Wii. Spend so many hours unlocking all the different characters and vehicles.
Interesting opinion. I mean, again,
don't just
no. Just let me finish. Jesus Christ! Like, everybody's allowed to have their favorite.
Absolutely.
It's really strange just thinking that like a lot of people could really be into that. Then again, I say that and I play Brawl and I like Brawl.
Exactly. Yeah. Same
here. But it's just it is like I'm not going to trash on it forever. Mario Kart Wii is Mario Kart Wii. And I'm not going to say that I denied the time I had with it. I had fun enough with it. It's
honestly...
The issues are glaring.
It's honestly the one Mario Kart game out of this list I'm looking at being like, no, I don't have to go back and play that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Mario Kart 64, anytime, take me there. Super Mario Kart, take me there. Like all of these games, I'm like, yes, I'll go back and play, but Mario Kart Wii, no. But we've talked about Mario Kart Wii. We don't have to rave on. Bryce, what is next on our Mario Kart ranking list?
Oh, jeez. We have SNES, GameCube, DS, 8. Is that it? And 64.
All right. Let's. What do you think about Super Mario Kart for number 6 position?
Is it number 6?
I'm thinking, thinking between Super Mario Kart or Double Dash.
Yeah, I'm in that point as well. This one's a little shaky for me because Super Mario Kart was definitely, and it, like, you know, with the SNES Mini and everything, it still is it is a fantastic game.
I love the aesthetic of Super Mario Kart so much.
Yeah, for sure. But also, Double Dash was one of those games that I played that a lot of people didn't, and I really liked Double Dash. I think it added in something into the game which was unique to its own, and that was kind of cool. You know, mix matching characters to get a different sort of drive value depending on who you were switched to.
Yeah, and items that are unique to each driver.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's one of the outliers in the series, really, that have really pushed, you know, new features in the game. Really.
Yeah.
We didn't really have that until Mario Kart 7, where they introduced underwater and flying sections.
I think for the sake of clarity, I'm probably going to sit Super Mario Kart in 6 as well. Only because, and it's, don't get me wrong, it's a tough draw, but it's like, I get to spend more time in Double Dash because Double Dash was a vastly bigger game.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? I feel like there was more uniqueness to Double Dash. You say that, but then it's like, oh, Super Mario Kart's the original. I'm like, well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I think Double Dash threw around a lot of concepts that were really, really different, but worked really well. You know, you even had the introduction of Toadette there too, which became an on and off stand-in as a character later on in Mario. So I think we'll sit down and talk about SNES, shall we?
Let's do it.
Yep. So this game is fantastic in the regards that it has its really unique aesthetic, and it's almost completely unique in comparison to the rest of the Mario Karts, in my opinion.
Well, it is. It wasn't until like the sequel, Mario Kart 64, that actually went to 3D. So this is the only one in sort of the like sprite-based art style.
No, well, you had the Game Boy one as well.
Game Boy one. Oh, yeah, Super Circuit.
Yeah, it was a little more upscaled, obviously,
yeah,
and stuff. But I think the aesthetic of it was, you know, you look at the tracks that come back from the classic games in the newer games, so like the Bowser's Castle and stuff like that. They're all very unique to that game. But obviously, when the shift made to 3D, courses changed a lot. They've obviously got, depending on what game you're playing, they've got all sorts of nicks and nags to them. You've got shortcuts and stuff like that, you know, otherwise...
Not just like gaps in the wall.
Not just gaps in the wall, yeah. I think that Super Mario Kart was the beginning of something really fantastic that only got built upon. And I think that's what puts it so much lower in the list for me, only because it's been built upon. I think it's a fantastic game, and I don't think you could ever take that away from Super Mario Kart.
Yeah, like being the first in the series, it's just like the base of the foundations that got built on over 20 or so years of games. But like going back to it now, you play the race. Like racing is still fun. It's a bit jarring. You got to get used to the controls, and you got to get used to sort of the mode 7 in the SNES. But once you get used to it again, it's still so much fun to play.
It is.
And going back to the battle mode, it had a great battle mode.
It absolutely did. It had a fantastic battle mode.
And even in Mario Kart 8, that the battle, the course from the battle mode in SNES is one of the best courses in Mario Kart 8 for battling.
Yeah, absolutely.
which is kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I can't really. There's not really a flaw to this Mario Kart for me because, apart from the Mode 7, I guess Mode 7 again is really, really hard to get used to if you, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was playing a lot of stuff that was obviously not Mode 7, and then it hit Mode 7 with Mario Kart, and it's just like, whoa, what is this 3D, 2D based crap? What? My eyes. But when I got used to it, I was just like, damn, this is a great game.
Yeah. If you're young and you're going back to it, you've really got to go in open-minded and give it a go. Like,
yeah, you absolutely do.
If you're a kid now and you're like, oh, I'm going to you're on the virtual console, you're giving Super Mario Kart a go after playing Mario Kart 8, you're gonna
Yep.
You're gonna be wondering what the hell you're doing.
It's one of those innovations. It's one of those innovations that the SNES really drove home with, that came back really strong for them. Much like how the original Star Fox was so unique in its own and stuff like that.
See, I'm a big fan of the original Star Fox as well. I just love how simple they look.
How simple Star Fox is, yeah. And it's great. It's great. Mode 7 was really like its own revolutionary thing of its time, and obviously it got followed up pretty quickly. But it's by its competitors, I should probably add there. But it
yes, PlayStation come out like a year after, then Nintendo had to follow up the 64 to compete. Yeah.
It's definitely a really fun Mario Kart, and it's hard to poke holes in its flaws and stuff like that because it was a pretty solid game. But due to the lack of content and the repeated course names, maybe to only have like very slightly variations of certain courses, like Mario Kart like Mario Circuit rather.
Yeah, there's only so much they can do.
There's only so much they can do. So yeah, it sits there simply because of that reason.
All right. So Mario Kart Double Dash is your number 5, and number 5 then.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So Mario Kart Double Dash, this is the one I've spent the least amount of time with, but I still find it a lot of fun. I remember playing the DS one a lot, and I played DS before I actually went back to play the GameCube version.
Mm-hmm.
I played it a fair bit at your place when you had your GameCube. I played it a fair bit on the old emulator. Yeah, I quite like it. It's by no means my favourite Mario Kart, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think the thing that I like most about Double Dash is it felt like when you hit something, you actually hit something. It's sometimes when you take like a sharp turn or something like that, your kart sort of reacts, and it felt more fluent.
Yeah,
I guess. Switching characters was a really fun mechanic with unique items, and all that was fantastic. It also meant that you could switch weights of your car a little bit around, and weights were more fine-tuned too. So, for example, if you had Koopa Trooper and Donkey Kong, you had Koopa Trooper in the front seat or something like that, and you were like, hey, I need to switch characters for something heavier so I can knock these two Toads off. So you switch over to Donkey Kong, and it shifts the weight. It shifts the weight in the cart, so you're heavier. It's cool like that. I think that's really unique for a Mario Kart game in general, and it's something they'll probably never do again.
No. I really liked the battle modes they introduced as well. Like the Bob-on Blast and all that too. Was Shrine Runners, was that introduced in Double Dash?
Shrine Runners, I don't think it was.
It was? Or was that introduced in DS?
I actually think that was a DS introduced thing.
It was?
I believe so.
Because I remember playing heaps on the DS version, but Shrine Runners, yeah. But the Bob-ombs, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I actually missed in Mario Kart 8 how they've got that mode back, but it doesn't display all the Bob-ombs, like holding them.
Yeah.
Like I used to love seeing the huge tower of them as you're drifting around this GameCube. Just that was awesome, having an actual GameCube.
Yeah, for sure.
Map too. Paul James from Play2.net says, "Double Dash was double the fun." Enough said.
Well,
he also says Baby Park is both the best and worst thing ever. I love Baby Park.
Yeah, Baby Park's
absolutely
pretty
love
awesome.
Baby Park.
I think everybody likes Baby Park. I think it's just one of those courses that sends you on a nice little wild ride of its own.
Yeah,
definitely.
See, my memory is mainly from Baby Park, is the DS version, just power sliding, just going around.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anything else you'd like to say about Double Dash?
I think that's pretty much. I've pretty much said what I need to say about Double Dash. It's a fantastic Mario Kart that not a lot of people got their hands on, and that's a shame. That's a shame because it's a really good Mario Kart in my opinion. It's everybody talks about Melee being like the tippity top of that console pretty much, and it pretty much was. Melee community still exists today, but Double Dash was really good. So yeah, that's why it sits as high as it does.
All right, Bryce. So we got left Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart DS, and Mario Kart 8.
Which means you've numbered things wrong.
Yeah, I think I have.
You have.
So while I fix that up, what do we think's next?
So Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart DS, and Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where things get a little tough.
This is the tough part, yeah.
This is really tough because, like, the thing is.
All right, so let's discuss it.
Okay.
Let's discuss it. So we'll go. So Mario Kart 64, obviously, a legendary game. Huge, like, for like people our age, about mid-20s. It pretty much hit exactly when we were 10 years old. How old would we be then?
I was really young.
I was literally 2 when this game came out, so obviously I wasn't playing it then. But no. I felt this game, all of my friends had a 64. I didn't have a 64 myself, but all my friends had one, and every time I went to someone's house, we were either playing Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or Pokemon Stadium. We played a lot of Pokemon Stadium, but Mario Kart 64 was the main one we played. And Mario Kart 64 was also my first introduction to just Mario full stop.
Yeah, yep.
My memory is just, at a friend's birthday party, and we were playing Chasey outside and whatever.
Before you go on to it, let's pick it first.
So where do you want it? I know you're going to be fighting for Mario Kart 64, so...
I am going to be fighting for Mario Kart 64.
I feel like I'm fighting for both the other two.
Fighting for both the other two
because I absolutely love Mario Kart DS.
So do I.
And I absolutely love Mario Kart 8.
And absolutely,
I love Mario Kart 64. So,
but I don't think 64 deserves slot 3. I would probably bunch it up 1 or 2 notches. I would probably say that. DS gets the 3rd slot. Personally.
Okay. Explain.
Because the thing is everything about DS was fantastic. You had mission-based modes, stuff like that. You had online play, which...
First Nintendo game.
I'll iterate something.
On the Wi-Fi network.
Absolutely
branding.
Was.
Yep.
Absolutely was, but I'll get into that when we talk about it. And overall, it was fantastic as a party game in its own right. Downsides: it wasn't as simple as just throwing someone a controller. You had to own a DS console. Even if you had download play, you had to have several consoles. That could either be a good or a bad thing. But it was like rocking up to a party and then it's like, hey, you want to play some Mario Kart? And nobody's got their DSs. Well, then you're stuffed.
We always did, though. We always did.
Of course we did. Of course we did. But I think in comparison, in power comparison to Mario Kart, focusing on the multiplayer aspect, while DS had more content in terms of like emblem creation and stuff like that, Mario Kart's battle mode was fantastic. Its courses were fantastic. It's its literal throw controller to another person and play was what it was. Split screen multiplayer, couch multiplayer was fantastic.
So I feel like you're saying Mario Kart DS is better in every way, just it wasn't on a TV with controllers. That's what you're pretty much saying.
Kind of. I think it was one of those things where you could... There was no real hard exchange between being able to play very easily and being able to play like with difficult. You've got download play again, which immediately makes things easier.
I feel like the argument being like, oh, you need two DSs and not everyone has two DSs. Just my experience with it in the day, we all had DSs. We always had them when we were with each other.
For sure.
So that wasn't an issue. We all had a copy of Mario Kart. We always had no problem connecting. And if someone didn't have, I remember. Do you remember like if like say 7 people have the game, and one person doesn't, so everyone has to do download play, and everyone has to play as Shy Guys, and everyone has to have limited course selection. Yeah, like god damn it.
So that's a pain in the butt. that was a flaw in the download play.
But also, it was the first Mario Kart where you could actually do that amount of players. On Mario Kart 64 Double Dash, you couldn't do that. You couldn't have an 8-player game.
No, you absolutely
do 4
couldn't.
players with 4 CPUs.
No, you absolutely couldn't. That's why this is so hard.
Yeah.
But I think that Mario Kart 64 laid so many ground rules for Mario Kart that it's really hard to just ignore the fact that, you know, it was the Titan it was. My mother's partner, who is... Shit, I think he's now 54. He loved Mario Kart 64. He loved Mario Kart 64. He would play that with his 4 kids.
Yeah, but he's not here. You should have got him here on the podcast then.
Just bring him in here. Talk about Mario Kart for me, Pebbles.
Yeah, sure. Can I just put it on there, bro? Just bloody...
It's the only Mario Kart he'll play. It's the only one he'll play. But it was just that. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good that I could hand it to a person much older than me and he'd play it. And that would happen with so many people in my life. But if I tried to do that with my DS or something, that wouldn't happen. Because it's not the same. As good as Mario Kart DS was for us, I don't think it was as approachable for a large audience because it was on a handheld. That's my opinion. And then that's where Mario Kart Wii succeeded because it was on the TV again, but then you had the motion controls for people to be like, whoa, this is funky. You know?
Wow, man, I'm actually driving the car.
Yeah, exactly. You got what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely do see the party aspect of it being on a handheld not as appealing for a party setting, but just all of the features in Mario Kart DS. I think Mario Kart DS is put above most Mario Karts.
I'm absolutely not complaining about the content driven.
So
at all.
So what are we arguing? Are we arguing here for third and second? Or are we arguing
third and second?
Third and second. So let's go. Let's leave this battle for a little bit.
Okay.
And let's go to Mario Kart 8. Is Mario Kart 8 the best Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Is Mario Kart 8 number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that one.
I honestly don't think that it's the best Mario Kart I've ever played mechanically.
You don't?
I don't think it is. Just because I don't really like gliders. Gliders suck, in my opinion. I fucking hate gliding. It's such a disconnect in the actual course.
I mean, with the gliders though, all they've done is like, say, in previous Mario Karts, you'd be shot out of a cannon and you'll just be doing nothing. You'll be watching it. Whereas the gliders, you're just moving about and you can maybe veer off and do a different path.
But then the issue with that as well is with the gliders, you could also be hit by items during those parts. So if people held the items, waited for you to go over the thing, you get hit by an item in midair, you fall off. It's a much, much worse issue at that point.
But they sped up the recovery, so you're right back. Whereas in previous Mario Karts, all they would have done is held the red shell, you land, then let it go.
For sure. But that's also instant recovery. I just feel like
it was nowhere near as quick. Nowhere near as quick. Mario Kart 8 they sped it up so much.
I don't know. I think it pisses me off being hit in that disconnect. That's the thing that gets me most. But again, it's like one of those minor flaws in Mario Kart 8.
You don't like gliders, okay.
I don't like gliders. I really don't
Tweet
like gliders.
Tweet at Bryce DeWitt saying, why don't you like gliders?
And I don't like gliders. I don't know what it is. I just don't like them that much.
Put a picture of a pigeon that's gliding. Anyway, go on.
But it's one of those minor flaws, as I was about to finish fucking saying. It's one of those minor flaws because it doesn't appear in every track, and like you can't abuse that sort of system every time you do it. Whatever. I think that the amount of content in Mario Kart 8 was stellar. Item balance is on point.
Yep.
Online is fantastic. Like it's crazy how good that online is. It didn't even suffer in the Switch version because it was out before that app came out, which is the suffrage we have with Splatoon.
The app is going to fix everything, isn't it? It's just...
fucking app. The thing is like both iterations that have come out of Mario Kart 8 have been so good that it's hard to knock either of them. We had DLC model, obviously, in Mario Kart 8, which was the first for the series. Back in, what was it, 2014, you said? Yeah, 2014. Yep. That was the first for the series, but the DLC, it was good. It was really good.
It was awesome to see stuff from other franchises come to Mario Kart.
Absolutely.
Seeing Link in the Hyrule Castle in the game was awesome.
Yeah.
And it still is, if you load it up right now, go and play through it. It's like, wow, this is still awesome being able to play. And like all the coins have changed to rupees, and it's really good.
It's now becoming Super Mario Kart Brothers with all these other characters being introduced.
So I want to take you back to 2014, Bryce, when in May when Mario Kart 8 first got launched. Because, the Wii U was in a very similar but very much worse situation than the DS. The DS were waiting
the 3DS.
The 3DS, sorry.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for Mario Kart 7 to come out. So, it's pretty iffy, pretty rushed. Meh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The Wii U, we haven't really had anything we've really been that excited for, really. But we're waiting for Mario Kart, and that came out just before E3 that year. And it was absolutely fantastic. Mario Kart 8 is one of the two games that made me very happy with my Wii U.
Yeah, for sure.
And looking back on it, I would have bought it just for that game. And it's also one of the only games on the Wii U to have sold over 50% of the install base.
The thing is like,
which is incredible.
And I've mentioned it before. There's plenty of reasons in the software to buy a Wii U, and Mario Kart 8 is definitely one of them. It's the hardware that's a disappointment. It sucks that you would have to buy the hardware to get into that. That's really lame. But it's not. Thinking back on the Wii U, like the software library we got was pretty solid. Mario Kart leaded with the forefront of that pretty well. And it only continued to be strong as we got a port over to the Switch, obviously. I'm almost glad they didn't make a new Mario Kart. I think that Mario Kart 8 was perfect to be ported with all the content that had been released over time, just as many other games have now, like Horror Warriors and stuff like that. All that stuff deserved to be ported.
Yep.
In a definitive edition, where we got all that DLC for free, perfect.
Doing the little mint.
The little mint.
Yeah, but like my opinion on Mario Kart 8, I think it is the perfect Mario Kart. I don't agree with you with there's been stronger mechanics in Mario Kart. I think these are by far the strongest mechanics Mario Kart has seen, with its drifting mechanics, with its with the animation looking so smooth, being 60 frames. I think that helps a lot.
I'm not arguing with that.
It's and when the game came out, people were like, "Oh my god, is this running on Wii U?" Everyone's like, "Oh, the Wii U is so underpowered. It's a PS3, Xbox 360." When we've just, we've been playing a PlayStation 4, Xbox Ones for a year. But Mario Kart 8 comes out and says, whatever, guys.
We are Mario Kart.
we still look awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I absolutely love the mechanics. I quite enjoy the glider and the underwater stuff. Doesn't bother me. The only issue I had with Mario Kart 8 was the battle mode. I think if they cut any corners on the original version on Wii U, they cut the battle mode, because they just put in they did battles, but they did it on courses.
Yeah, which
was really weird.
It was, yeah, and
it just did not work.
I never touched it.
There was a SNES level you could play for the in the battle mode, and that was a bit smaller. It worked okay.
Yeah,
really weird. Didn't really work. Like, you're sort of doing, you just end up battling in a bit of the map. It's like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe comes out and they just rehaul the battle mode.
Yeah.
And it's still timed, so it's still not perfect. It still doesn't scratch that itch I want, which nothing will now. Nothing will. I feel like that if they should at least remove time if you're not playing online.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, or have the option to remove it.
Yeah, but unless they do that, it's not going to scratch the itch. Mario Kart 64 battle mode.
No, because Mario Kart 64 battle mode was perfect.
Yeah,
it was literally the best in the series.
So Mario Kart 8, best Mario Kart in our opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I seem a bit higher on it than you do, but you still love it too.
No, yeah, I like I said before. Don't get me wrong. My opinions on certain mechanics in the game are very small. You know, just because I don't like gliders, that's a thing that's I'm just gonna have to shelve because they're gonna do it for the rest of its lifetime.
Yeah,
but you know, I don't like gliders. There's nothing wrong with that. People don't have to fucking like the gliders. I like the fact that with Mario Kart, something I should have mentioned in Mario Kart Wii when they added in bikes.
Oh, bikes, yeah.
Bikes is fantastic.
See, when they announced bikes were coming back, I was scared.
Why?
Because in Mario Kart Wii, you could do the wheelies, and that was it gave you no reason to pick a car. Where they got rid of that.
But I like bikes.
I like bikes now too.
Bikes are great. They're the only way I play Mario Kart now.
But it was just, yeah. I use a bike now too. I use the Yoshi bike.
Yeah.
So I like bikes as well. But,
yeah.
Sorry, keep going. I was just about to.
No, you're right. I was about to say the same thing anyway. I was about to say that they did a really good job on the bikes in Mario Kart 8, which is the way I play it. Was basically all I wanted to say about that. Yeah.
So we got another comment from Nicholas Pryor from the Explosion Network, and he says, I had a tremendous fun time playing couch co-op with Mario Kart 64, but my favourite has to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because of the ability to spam Rainbow Road on SNES on the Explosion Network community nights.
Mm-hmm.
And just a shout out to was it last year sometime when the guys at the Explosion Network were doing their community nights every Thursday, and that's how I got to know a lot of these guys playing Mario Kart with them.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
That's good.
Like, obviously, you could have done this on Wii or any of like the previous Mario Karts online, but I feel like the Switch version is where it really come into fruition.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And like this game, especially on Switch, is just perfect with the Joy-Cons, perfect with the online. It really is like the full package now.
Absolutely.
What we got? We got Kieran Marchant, also from the Explosion Network. He says, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is my first Mario Kart game since the Nintendo 64. Being able to play the game on Switch and having the experience of community nights racing around gets friends. Sorry, what's he saying? What are you saying here, Kieran? God damn it. And having the experience of community nights racing around gets friends has been fantastic. That's what he said. Need to have another night like this soon. I agree. I really agree.
Absolutely.
And and Dylan also from the Explosion Network. We've got an Explosion Network bloody fienza here.
They love us. What can I say?
I wouldn't push your luck there, Bryce. The Switch version, because that's the most card I've played with other people, and we were streaming it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it is funny how like obviously people have their experiences when they're a child going, Mario Kart 64, 4 people in the room, eating chips, drinking Coke. That's a lot of memories I have with that game.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people now, it's like, I absolutely love Mario Kart 8 because I'm streaming it, playing it with friends.
Mm-hmm.
A completely different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Just for like the culture we live in now with streaming and online.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Mario Kart 8 is fantastic, Bryce, but we still have to name the second and third place.
I'm almost tempted to leave this to a poll because I'll fight to the death for this one, I think.
Fight to the death.
Yeah, look, I love Mario Kart DS. I spent so much time on Mario Kart DS, and it's really, really hard to separate the two. I just feel like the widespread of Mario Kart 64 was just so much stronger. And I could talk hours and hours about that battle mode. That battle mode was great. Block Fort, everybody. Block Fort.
Oh, Block Fort is
the pinnacle of Mario Kart battle maps.
Oh, easily. Well, Mario Kart 64 is the pinnacle of battle mode.
It is. It is.
Even if DS pretty much replicated it and made it so you can play 8 players, it's still the crown still lays in.
It absolutely
64.
Does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. Again, yeah, it might have only been 4 players, but It's perfect.
See, I really wish like Mario Kart 8 had block fort and the ability to play 8 players. Like, well, you can play 8 players. So I wish it had that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
With no time.
Not that it would devalue Mario Kart 64 in its battle mode, but it would certainly hold torch to it. Yeah, like with the game obviously being as good as it is, as we've already talked about.
Like being able to come back as the bomb, that disappeared.
Oh, that was so good. Just fucking with people like that was so good. God damn. It's coming down to a head though. It's really hard. It's really hard, but I have to fight for it.
All right, I'm gonna let you have it, Bryce. Mario Kart 64 at second.
I reckon it's second.
The DS one, it has such a strong place in my heart. I played over hundreds and hundreds of hours of that game.
So did I.
I played it until Mario Kart 7. And so how long was that? That was 6 years. That lived in my DS for that long.
Yep.
I did absolutely all the time trials, played
all the missions, all everything.
Yep, starred everything, just
absolutely
destroyed that game.
I absolutely destroyed it as well. It comes down to what was more widespread, and who could you hand a controller, and it comes down to Mario Kart 64. I could literally hand a controller to anyone and they'd give it a crack, but I couldn't hand my DS to someone, they'd give it a go. And I think that is the major killer for me.
Also, some people hate snaking. I personally love snaking.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah. So
added a little more to the game.
I am happy they got rid of it, mind you, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was like it was a massive competitive advantage if you knew how to use it correctly.
Yeah, I think it also if you're, say you and I had a snaking race.
Yep.
It also does take away from the fun Mario Kart.
It does
fun too.
Yeah. It turns it more into a serious match.
Just like you're fucking dead.
That's literally what Mario Kart DS ended up becoming once you learn about how to utilize snaking.
Yeah, just if you're not familiar with the term snaking is when you're just doing
constant drifts,
constant power turbo drifts.
Yeah.
So basically, in the DS one, you just move the tires back and forth, and you'll get a flame. You let it go, you get the drift. And
you would immediately jump into another one.
In that version of the game, you could just do 1, 2, 3, just constantly just jumping back and forth.
Yep. Like forget time trial ghosts. Time trial ghosts were nothing.
Some of the Nintendo ones were actually really hard in that game.
They were, but most of them, you could snake your way to victory if you did.
You just versing Miyamoto. He's just snaking up a storm.
Snakes up a tornado, just wipes the game out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am tempted. To throw up a poll on the Twitter just to see who agrees with that. Well, I'm curious.
Well, we'll ask what everyone's personal Mario Kart ranking is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're listening to this, go to Twitter @ the House of Mario and leave what your ranking of the Mario Kart series is, and whether you agree with ours or whether we're a bunch of morons, because we probably.
Probably look like a bunch of morons.
We don't look like morons. They can only hear us.
Well,
just what they're visualizing is a bunch of morons.
Exactly. Yeah, and you get my point.
All right. So just to recap, Bryce. I'm not going to recap you, Bryce, but we're going to recap our rankings.
Recap. Yes.
What does that mean?
Recap.
Ooh. So at number 8 we have Mario Kart 8. Number 7 is Mario Kart. No, what am I doing? I'm just reading the bloody thing. So, Jesus, I hadn't fixed up my rank. So we're gonna have to remember it now. So dead last Mario Kart Wii, then Mario Kart 7.
Yep.
Then Mario Kart Super Circuit.
Yep.
Then Super Mario Kart. Then Mario Kart Double Dash.
Yep.
Followed by Jesus. Was it Mario Kart 64? No, sorry. Mario Kart DS, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Kart 8 at number 1.
Indeed. I think that is correct. By the scribblings on your notebook.
Yeah. That, I must have just, put one number in the wrong spot, then I've just lost it from there.
Yep. No.
What? I'm just a bloody goose, Bryce.
You are a goose. Look at you, goose.
Speaking of goose, Bryce, where can they find you on Twitter?
Jeez. All right. The goose.
At the goose.
At Bryce the Wit.
Yeah. And you can find me at iDrewby. And that is the end of this episode. Thank you very much for listening to episode 49 of The House of Mario. We are a part of the 8-Bit Collective. 10 podcasts coming together, 22 creators, all putting awesome podcasts in your ears. Go to 8bit.net to check them all out, including putting in work. You Game Bro. It is what it is. Other things. You're just laughing whenever I say that, don't you?
Oh, we're just memeing on Jack. We're always memeing on Jack.
Jack, this is going to get back to you eventually, but whenever... if something comes up, what I do is I go, oh, it is what it... As Jack Cruz would say, it is what it is.
Yeah. He does it every time too. And it's literally just become a meme where it's back and forth, it is what it is.
So, yeah, if this gets back to Jack, how you going, Jack? You can leave us an iTunes review if you feel so kind. It helps with the statistics. The statistics. Yes. Apparently statistics on iTunes are important. But the thing is with iTunes is no one knows how it operates. We've got a fair few reviews there as it is. I don't know if that's helping or not.
No. Yeah,
but I go there every now and again and check the reviews. And sometimes when I read either constructive criticism or praise for the show, it really warms both of our hearts.
It does. Absolutely.
So at least there's that. But if you don't like iTunes... just give us a shout out on Twitter, whatever, on your social media. Go to your mum, say, hey, there's this podcast.
Hey, mum.
Actually, there's a new thing, new website, which is just launched into beta, but it's called Podchaser. Mm-hmm. And we've just joined that site. And basically, I think it's fantastic. I'm going to use it myself, but it's a really easy way just to discover new podcasts and listen to podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's a bit more simple than downloading the iTunes app or finding each individual podcast on Libsyn or SoundCloud. It's just all in one place.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they have an app yet, but we'll include the link to our.
I think it's probably in development, I would say.
Yeah, they're launching on Tuesday out of beta, I believe.
Cool.
The guy who actually is the programmer is Australian.
And you talked to him on Twitter. I did see that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like,
yeah.
Because he said, "Oh yeah, I'm making this list." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool. Like, I'd love to join it, like the Australian Gaming Podcast Network."
Yep.
And he said, and I'm like, "Oh wait, this is actually your site. This is awesome, dude."
Yeah,
It's really cool. And we do have a Discord community.
We do. We have a beautiful Discord community.
We do. So if you would like to play some Mario Kart 8 with us and the other friendly dudes in the Discord community, join. We've got a online bit there.
Yeah. I would like to also add on top of that as well. We have a lot of friendly discussion in there, and we often talk about playing games together, but we haven't really done much about that.
We haven't done it yet.
It'll happen
eventually.
But in the cogs. In the cogs, I think we might start organising a community day once every fortnight or something. Haven't really touched on it yet. Probably won't until we get back from Adelaide, which is coming soon.
Yeah, it's coming out quick.
Yeah, very quick, very quick. And we'll touch upon that, and we'll play some games together. Whether it's we've got a lot of options on the Switch now. I think you can imagine what we're going to go for, and we'll just pick a game on the day and we'll go with it. Yep. I think. I think that sounds pretty good. But we'll organise that when we get back. If you haven't, get in the Discord community if you want to join in on that. On top of that, we also release the episodes early, typically in the Discord community. They usually go up roughly about 6 hours maybe beforehand, before we release them into the wild.
It's just a private link to SoundCloud.
It is, yeah.
So if you're into SoundCloud, there you go.
Exactly.
Speaking of the Discord community, Bryce, we've got one last Mario Kart memory from Metadocs in the Discord community.
Metadocs.
My favourite Mario Kart, if I had to choose out of the three that I've played, would probably be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Don't get me wrong, Mario Kart Wii and 7 are great fun too, but I've just had so much fun with 8 Deluxe. My fondest memory of the game would be when we were in the hotel room in New York City in December. I just brought the game from the New York City store. One of my best friends and Mario Kart fanatic Casey and I were huddled up on the hotel floor. Switch in front of us, Joy-Cons and Pro Controller in our hands. We had the best time ever.
That's so cool.
So that is just like a roundup of the Switch Mario Kart multiplayer.
Yeah.
No, it's just...
It's crazy. It's crazy that you can walk into a Nintendo store and pick up a copy with your Australian console and be like, yes.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God for that. Right? Like, and that would be the thing to hold on to, too. You'd never get rid of that copy of Mario Kart. You'd be like, I went to the Nintendo store in New York. That's awesome.
I want to go there so bad.
So do I.
Get a bunch of expensive stuff.
Absolutely.
That I regret later.
Somebody fund us to go to New York.
Someone fund us. Okay.
Someone fund us.
All right, Bryce. We'll end the show there. Nintendo Jukebox this week is by Super Soul Brothers, and they've done a jazz rendition of the Mario Circuit theme, which is really good, really jazzy. Get into it. Absolutely love the music. Super Soul Bros do. Go on to their SoundCloud profile, which is linked below in the show notes. And until next week, we'll see you then.
third tune in the set. We're just, yeah.